Seriously, you might think that thumbnail was edited, but it's not. I'm just after taking it there. This is straight up live video. This thing is so nice looking, so awesome looking. It's not even funny. I've never had a thumbnail or a picture or some video turn out looking this good before. This figure is insanely nice. Anyway, let's get right into it. Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today I'm taking a look at this right here. This is the DLX scale collectible figure Optimus Prime from Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege. I'm gonna mention right off the bat that this was sent to me directly by THREEZERO. This is a promotional sample, not for resale. And they also sent me on a little bit of a kind of brief thing right here, because apparently there's a couple of things in this sample that will not be present in the final figure, so I'll mention them while we're going through it. But all I can say right off the bat is I am super impressed by this right here. This is the coolest Optimus Prime I've ever laid my hands on. I will mention though, it does not transform, so if that is something that you want from your Transformer, this might not be for you. But if you want some absolutely awesome Autobot shelf candy that's posable, then let's get right into it. Let's check it out. And also, while it's all set up right here, I might as well mention that is everything that comes in the box, which is quite a bit. That is that stand, ion blaster, backpack, Energon Shield, Energon Axe, and a bunch of hands, but we'll talk about those a little bit later on. But for now, let's get right onto Optimus himself. So before we check out how he looks, which you've probably seen already, the only bit of assembly we need to do out of the box straight away is unscrew a screw in the back, pop off the head, and throw in a couple of AG13 batteries, which are also known as LR44, so you will need those handy, as well as a screwdriver. Just make sure to put them in the right way. We do have a little bit of a switch on the front of the head unit that is on and off, but yeah, besides that, just connecting the head, it lights up the rest of the chest like so, and this looks phenomenal, adding so much to the already awesome looking aesthetics of this figure. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the price as well. This costs around $180, which honestly, to me, is a pretty decent price for what you get. It's also got die-cast joints. But yeah, anyway, back to the whole assembly thing. I leave the screw out because it is a lot simpler to just have this to pop it in when you want those LEDs on, and then just pop it out, turn off the switch, pop it back in if you want to save some battery. But hey, if you're like me, you'll just forget they're in there and the batteries will die anyway. Secondly, we just need to attach on ye old backpack right here. So to do that, just flip them around and shove it in the hole where the next screw is. Simple as that. It is really cool that they've done all of the super nice detailing underneath there. Same detail and craftsmanship as the rest of the figure, so no corners cut, definitely. Super beautiful right here. So yeah, now that I've got all the parts attached, the LEDs on, let's give it a quick spin, and all I can say is this is phenomenal looking. Usually when I build my model kits, this is the model kit by the way, it's a figure, I tend to opt for the clean out of factory look, but the weathering on this is so nice, I'm getting a little bit inspired, I think. It looks so good. The battle damage looks perfect. The little bit of silver scraping around all the edges, the cracks in the windscreen. This looks so good. Every single millimeter of this figure has some insane craftsmanship. And like I said, this right here is only a sample. And it looks so damn good. I'm blown away. Also, because of the die-cast joints, this thing is reassuringly heavy. Very, very nice. So yeah, this thing looks absolutely awesome, but instead of telling you what to think about how it looks and giving you a whole bunch of opinions, I'm gonna take whatever screenshots from War for Cybertron Siege pop up on Google, and I'm gonna try and replicate them, and you can decide yourself whether or not you think it looks as good as it should. Alright, so the first screenshot I'm gonna try and replicate is this one here with the, wheeljack and, Elita 1. Apologies in advance, I'm a complete and utter Transformers casual, so I think I'm right, but if I'm not, forgive me. Also, I don't have figures of either of those two characters, so I'm just gonna have to supplement in some Gundams. This is the Master Grade EZ8 and the Entry Grade Christmas Gundam. Either way though, I think this looks perfect. What do you think? Man, I am not getting the most dynamic screenshots here, but hey, makes it all a whole lot easier for me. Let's go. Alright, so this one is a simple one. Optimus just standing there on the left, the other one, Elita 1 or whatever, on the right. Once again, I don't even remember. Seriously, the last time I watched anything Transformers before Siege was probably back in the early 90s. And I don't even know if that Elita 1 character was even around back then. Actually, I'm still just trying to come to terms with the fact that Optimus Prime turns into a truck on Cybertron, which kind of makes no sense compared to the fact that, you know, wasn't it to blend in on Earth? Never mind. On to the next one. And this is going to be the last one. Right, so this one's going to be the last one. Again, not too dynamic, but hey, it's the third thing that just popped up, and that's what I'm gonna go with. So once again, it's not all that dynamic of a pose, but it will get the point across for that side-by-side comparison. So what we've got here is Optimus Prime back-to-back with, this guy, whose name I don't remember, not sure. So I might be able to tell you off the top of my head who he is, but I can tell you who he isn't. RoboCop. He isn't RoboCop, but that's what you're gonna get for this image, and there they are side by side. So you can make up your own mind whether this is anime, and I use that with heavy quotations, anime accurate or not. So moving on to some size comparisons. First off, this is 10 inches tall. That is 25.4 cm. So that does make him one big Optimus. There is side by side with MP44 Masterpiece Optimus Prime, a Flame Toys model kit, that tiny little Optimus Prime that transforms into a pen, a Figma, once again it's Figma RoboCop. As for some Gundam kits, there it is side by side with a high grade Gundam, a master grade Gundam, and finally a perfect grade Gundam, which is the perfect grade Unleashed version, by the way. And actually, these are close enough to the same size we can finally have that death battle, and after seeing Transformers Siege, the only death battle I think Optimus Prime should be in is against a wet paper bag, and my money would be on the wet paper bag. But anyway, onto the accessories. So we've already seen absolutely everything this figure comes with, so let's check everything out one by one. So as for the hands we have in here, we've got fists, relaxed widespread open hands, some dynamic widespread open hands, as well as hands for holding both of the weapons, and we do have a left and a right of everything. I will also mention these are rubbery, so they can kind of move slightly, go back to the way that they were. They're also ridiculously hard to detach. It's a double ball joint attachment, and they're equally as hard to attach, but eventually you'll get the feel for it. So the first piece of equipment we have in here is the Energon Shield. This is in the exact same awesome level of detail as Optimus himself. We've got black paint, we've got silver paint, the weathering on here is great, we've got some blackish oily mess, some nice metallic scratches, and that Autobots logo up front. This attaches into the arm in the old-fashioned way of peg into hole, nothing fancy, but it does exactly what it needs to do, and nothing more. Looking good. Next up then in here is the Ion Blaster. This is in black with that silver battle damage on it. There is no moving parts, it's just what you see here. There is a little bit of a seam line up the middle of it, which is kind of noticeable. Once again, this is a sample, I'm not sure if that'll be in the full release version. And attaching this into the hand is just the old battle with rubber fingers. Try and squeeze it on in there, it holds on fine, looks great, and does exactly what it needs to as far as I can see though. And according to what I can see in the instructions, there is no way to mount this on Optimus when it's not held in his hand. So it's either in his hand or back in the box. So the last of the equipment in here is the Energon Axe. So once again, just like the Energon Shield, this is in gloss black silver with some oily black weathering on the silver and some scratchy silver weathering on the black. Once again, we've got that Autobots logo, and once again, it attaches into the rubbery feeling hands. However, I am having a little bit of an issue with this particular hand-weapon combination. So because of the design of the hand, the weight of the axe tends to make it fall out of the hand when it's in a position like this. However, if you stick in a position like this, which it shows in the manual, well then it has no problem whatsoever because, well, the thumb that it's kind of moving on is making the force of the shaft come up this way so the fingers can hold on to it. A little disappointing that we couldn't get it into some downwards facing poses, but still, this looks pretty good. Wonder if that hand, nah. There it is in the left hand, and this is just freshly popped in and still the same sort of issue. I guess it's just the design of the hand. So now moving on to the articulation, and I am so impressed by this so far. I will mention this has a lot of die-cast joints, a lot of metal in it, so this has a nice hefty center of gravity. As for the neck, double jointed giggity 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 goo. So there's the head all the way up. There it is looking all the way down. Side to side pivot, looking to the left, looking to the right. At the shoulder, there's the arm in its default position. It cannot move backwards, but it can swing out to the front ever so slightly. In the shoulder, we do have this moving flappy flap. So there's the arm all the way down. First shoulder joint and second shoulder joint. So it goes up pretty high, nice. Also at the shoulder joint, we've got a full 360-degree spin all the way around. Another full 360-degree spin at the upper arm. Very nice double jointed bend at the elbow, just beyond 90 degrees. We don't have any sort of ab crunch to the front and back, but we have a really nice side to side crunch in here. Actually, very, very nice. Full 360 rotation at that waist. The front skirt flappy flappies can move up and down ever so slightly. This piece back here comes off to attach him to the action base. I totally forgot to mention so far, I'll get back to that in a second. The back flap can move all the way from up there, to here, to down here. As for the kicks, there it is all the way up to the front, all the way out to the back, and then all the way out to the side. We'll mention that in this version, which is just a sample, these are a little bit on the loose side, a little bit, but this here brief thingamajiggy says that won't be on the finished product. As for that knee bend, it goes from here, to here, to here, to here, to there. That is one hell of a bend at the knee, and it is, once again, double jointed. You can actually see the joints and the flaps and the bits for where this would transform if it did transform, and I keep trying to pull at them, expecting the transformation that it does not have. Which honestly, I'm kind of glad it doesn't have. It makes this thing very robust. Then we've got this big extension to the back, and not so big extension to the front, but still pretty good. Last up then, we've got a toe bend from here to here. Anyway, back to that basin stand that I totally forgot about. Let's lash him onto this, check out how it fits, and then pose him in an aerial pose. So yeah, like I just did, the top part can extend out like so, locks into place. We can then change the angle at this point. Also, that can lock into place. The stand then attaches into the butthole like so. To change the angle of this upper section, you actually have to physically pull it out like this. We've got some teeth in there for some cog-ish action. And then you just put it back in the way you like, whatever angle you are looking for. Just like so. So anyway, I think it's about time to get this off my desk, especially now that it's up on the stand, because this is so big and heavy with massive exposed metal parts that this is the first time I've ever feared for it falling and breaking the glass desk. I've never, ever had that fear before. Anyway, there it is up on the shelf looking fantastic. This thing dominates the shelf without a single doubt, and I have to say thank you so much to THREEZERO for sending this on to me. This is such an awesome figure. If you are thinking of getting one, I would say 100% go for it. If you love Siege, if you love Optimus, you don't care too much for transformations, then this is perfect for you. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more reviews, and I'll see you next time. As always, I cannot end this video right here without thanking each and every one of you guys for watching this video, for dropping a like, subscribing, and of course to each and every one of you that supports me over on the channel memberships or over on Patreon, like Craig Jerry, Tyler Sanders, the ambassador for Asymmetric Cats, Caleb Engel.